Hi my friends, happy asynchronous day. I'm going to show you what you're doing in your handwriting and ABC packet in this video. Finally, we are back to normal stuff with these packets. I'm sorry there were some mistakes last week and then we didn't have to do all of them. Whew, geez. Well, this week there's going to be hopefully no problems. Let's see what you're doing in your handwriting packet. If you're ever unsure about which page you're on in the handwriting packet, basically I always do the next two letters because right now we're on letters and they look kind of like this. You're doing the lowercase and then on the back you do the uppercase of that word. So since we haven't done F yet, today's words or letters are F and G. And then tomorrow is J and Q. See what we did there? We're going letter by letter. So now we're going to be doing F. F has a straight down, straight across, and a curved top line. So you have to be very steady with your pencil. Make sure that you're holding your pencil correctly. I like to hold it like this, where I have my two fingers pressed together and it rests on my middle finger. But I know this can either be difficult or it's a little more comfortable to have your thumb facing upward. Whatever works for you. Just make sure you're not gripping because your hand will get so tired, and that's why you have to shake it out all the time. So make sure that you practice tracing your letters first. The letter F goes down from the front all the way to the top and curves there up at the top, and then you do your line across. You know how people say don't forget to dot your I's and cross your T's? Well, with the letter F, it's the same thing. So the letter F, Mr. Emmett, I just realized I was telling you the wrong way to write it. The letter F is from the top with that curve and down, and we do the line across. We do top of the curve and down and the line across. So basically it looks like this. Curve from the top and go down, kind of like an upside down J or kind of like a candy cane. Then you cross it with your sideways line. I apologize. If it's easier for you to do the bottom to the top, go ahead. But I guess that was only easy because I was tracing it because that looks pretty wonky. Make sure that you try to make it as easy for you to write so that eventually, not only are you writing cleanly, you're writing quickly as well. If you have an F in your name, go ahead and circle it. I unfortunately do not have an F in my name, but I do have some other tall letters. Do you have an F in your name? Or at least a lowercase f? There's also the uppercase F that we're doing today. I like to do the top to the bottom, just like the lowercase f, especially since Ms. Remitz forgot to tell you that. And then I do the two lines on the top. So it's a down line, and then the two long sideways lines. They like to do it shorter than the top. You can do that, but, sorry about that, my friends. I had to pause for a second. So the uppercase F goes from the top to the bottom, and then you have those two lines across. And what I was saying is that they like to have the shorter line go down at the bottom, but when you're writing quickly, it can be really hard to make sure one's longer than the other. So as long as you make sure that your uppercase F has those two lines and you don't add a third, making it look like an E, I think you're A-okay. Make sure you leave space in between your lines so that you can really practice them, or well, between your letters. And don't worry about writing your name here. It's kind of hard since it's on the little bend of the book. We also have the lowercase g that we're working on today. This is nice because it does go alphabetical order here. So you start kind of writing the letter O, and it's that backwards circle, and then you continue down with that hook of the G, and it goes past the baseline. So you have your backwards curved hook, and then you come up and drop it down. Backwards curve, and drop it down with that hook. Do you have a lowercase g in your name? If you do, go ahead and circle it. I know I don't. I always practice my name down here, though, since it's harder to do up here. Let's look at the uppercase G real quick. So here you have the uppercase G. It's a big backwards curve, but when it's coming up, instead of finishing it out like an O or a 0, you quick dart into the middle of your circle and it'll make that little line that the G has. So it's a big backwards curve, and halfway through, you dart in. Let's see what it looks like when I write it. Backwards curve, and when you come up to the middle, dart in. Backwards curve, come up to the middle and dart in. I definitely don't have an uppercase G in my name. I think Let's see. Jessica does. Does anyone else? I don't think we have many G's in our class. You're also going to be doing your name, but like I said, you do not have to put it here. So always make sure you're practicing when you come down to the very flat page. Okay, my friends, let's look at the letters for today in our alphabet packet. So I have the letter O here and the letter P. P is for pumpkin, which is so appropriate for this week. And O is for owl, which is also funny because there's an owl in our Winnie the Pooh book that we're reading. Make sure you ask an adult to get a marker. They can go on and trace, hopefully better than me, the letter that you're going to be doing today. That way it's a little bit clearer. They can also do that for P, even though P looks like it came out a little bit better on my paper, but we still like to trace it anyway. So now that you have your letter nice and traced, you know what it's supposed to look like. And I want you to practice tracing it over, right? We trace it over first, what the adult did, and then we practice it on our own. Uppercase and lowercase. The lower cases never really go above that midline unless they're tall letters like D, B, or T, or F, right? I want you to try and fit that in a couple of times. And yeah, you're allowed to color this in. I know you could even draw it by a tree if you wanted. You could have it out at night because they're nocturnal. Here's a moon, or at least I tried, right? Maybe you could have it perching on a branch. There's so many options, but feel free to color it. You have 1, 2, 3 O words today. Crown, possum, pizza, orange, pumpkin, octopus. Which are the 3? This one's a little weird because it's said as possum, but there's an O in the front. What are you going to do with that? Well, let's look at our next one too. Now we're jumping over to P. I was trying to convince you that it was P Day, but no, it's only P Day today. Make sure you find the words that match the letter of the day. Now we have a pumpkin. You can draw a pumpkin patch. You can make this a jack-o'-lantern. You can do whatever you want. But for right now, I just want you to practice tracing over what your pet grown-up did. And then you can practice it yourself. Capital P has that straight down line. And then it has that big curve, but that big curve, which is kind of like a backwards C, only faces backwards, and it only goes above the top. If it did one more, that would be an uppercase B, and we can't have that. Lowercase p has a long line too, but it drops down below that baseline, and its curve looks just like its mama, but it goes below the midline, and it doesn't go down or up any further. It just stays in between that baseline and the midline. So make sure you're coloring and you're writing their upper and lower case, and then you can go and color these or just cut them and glue them out. You have 3 P words that I want you to look for: owl, pig, orange, pizza, octopus, and pumpkin. Hey, that's funny. I think they're giving you a hint here. Well, these are your 2 pages. My friends, I wish you luck with your reading and handwriting packets. Make sure you pick up the slack on Epic. I know, Miss Remet should really pick up the slack and assign you more books, huh? I just love that you're able to find now if the book is just right for you or not. You don't really need me to tell you which books to pick, huh? Make sure you're using all your reading buddies and your 5-finger rules. It'll help you with your reading. See you this afternoon, friends. Bye!